I'd like to call the meeting to order. Jamie, could you take roll call, please?
Commissioner Kraus?
Here.
Commissioner Mansky?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Just the first order on the agenda is election of officers. How we're going to do that. I guess I'll allow Commissioner Kraus to make a suggestion or a recommendation.
Nominate Commissioner Maskey to be president of this commission for the next 13 months.
I accept. And I nominate Bruce Kraus to be vice president of this commission for the next 13 months.
Okay, I accept.
All right.
We're done.
So make a motion that we approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. So now we'll move on to old business, applicants in process. I think at this time, unless Chief Campbell has any reports on this, we can table this till next time. This first time this commission has met publicly, and we haven't had a chance to review any of this information right now.
I'll just say that we have been on hold because of budgetary constraints, and we've recently worked through those things, and the process will begin shortly. As soon as we get approval from the City Council on our budget, and we'll be free to go forward. So that's where we're at with that.
Next order of business will be probationary officer reports. I don't know if you have any.
I do. I'll give you an update. We have probationary officer reports that were taken since March that I will email to you guys so you can review all them. We go through the FTO meetings every month, so I'll email so you guys can review those. But just verbally here, Officer Lewis and Officer McDaniel, they just completed their probationary status on August 26th. They just need the blessings from you guys and letters formally making it official that they're on probation and have first class patrolman status. Officers Ballin, Kolarchek, Maines, and Moda are are at week 6 of ILEA. They have 9 more weeks left. They're on pace to graduate November 13th. They'll come back and then complete their phase 4 of the FTO program before being tested out on their own. Officers Paul, Fluhoff, Sanchez, and Schleier, who got hired than other 4. They completed phase 4 of the FTO program, but since they have not completed ILEA yet, they are set to go November 9th. So they're just riding with the FTO. It's kind of in a limbo period right now because they have not been to the academy just because everything got delayed with COVID down there downstate. Then lastly, our 2 new hires, Alexander and Williams. They're still in-house training with DPS. We have them on the wait list for the academy for November 9th, so we're hoping they can get in with the other 4 within 6. If not, then they'll go to the next academy class, which is February 15th. But they're doing good, and we're going to have them starting FTO probably by the end of the month, beginning of October. That's all information.
Sort of new business, there's some correspondences. I think we have something correct from Officer Wenzel.
That's correct.
Okay. We spoke about this situation in an executive board meeting earlier today before this meeting, and I think at this time I'm going to make a motion that we table this matter until Attorney Watterson can speak with the city attorney, Amber LePage, and Officer Wenzel's attorney and try to reach some agreement.
Second.
Officer. All in favor?
Approved. Okay. Officer Wenzel's here. You want to give him?
Yeah, you can certainly, Officer Wenzel wants to address us.
Officer Wenzel, would you like to speak it, officer?
What are you at now?
Okay.
Jim? No, nothing for now?
No, it's been tabled.
Okay.
Chief, report to you.
Thanks. Just for the commissioners, I think our department is doing well considering the circumstances that we've had. Our city is going with the national norms as far as the uptick in crime, which is hard for us to swallow and deal with. but I'm confident that our officers are really engaged, and despite the circumstances, we've had some resignations and we've had some retirees, and a lot of our officers are doing double duty in a lot of areas, but they're handling them well. I think the morale of the department we're in a good place, and we're looking forward to the future. And we're just riding out this rough spot, but I think overall our department is doing well, and we're looking forward to the future. Our leadership among the supervisors has been exceptional, and our younger officers have stepped up to the plate, and I think they're all doing a phenomenal job. So I think we're heading in the right direction. I'd also like to publicly welcome our two new commissioners, Bruce Krause and Scott Matsky. I think that they both bring a wealth of knowledge, and I think that they're going to be good because they have an understanding of the community and they understand what our department needs. And I think that you two are going to bring a great balance to your roles, and looking forward to working with you both. And we got a lot of work to do, but congratulations. I think that you both are going to do an excellent job. I have a couple of awards I'd like to give at this time.
Chief, if we could just do one more, we have one more bit of doing this back up on, before you do your awards, we have one more piece of new business.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So at the last in-person meeting of the previous commission, apparently there was a decision made with regards to some promotions and future promotions as well, on how test scores and such were going to be factored into the next promotions, and whether or not an officer could be promoted twice from the same test. So we're going to discuss that for a second here and take a vote on it, but we had discussed it before, and my personal opinion about the situation is that in the rules and regulations for this commission, it makes no mention of it saying that you can't be promoted twice off of the same test. Personally, there's some wording in there that I agree with that says you can't be promoted within your 6-month probation period of being a new. So if you go from first class patrolman to corporal, you have a 6-month waiting period, during which time you can't be promoted again. And then after that, at least for myself, I feel as though after that 6-month probation time, you can be promoted again off of that same test. If you're the best candidate, if you qualify for it, you should get it. That's my personal opinion. I'll allow Bruce to speak on it. We can take a vote if you'd like.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree. We just disagree with what's the best way to put it? The decision made based on what we've read, we don't agree with. The previous decision, I should say. So now I agree with Scott, and with advice of counsel, you can be, the way it's worded now, you can be promoted twice off the same test. It doesn't say you can't be, so we're going to have to take care of that here and now, I believe. Go ahead.
I don't know how to exactly go with this, but
Because we don't really need to vote on it. It's how the rules are interpreted, but it is your decision that.
and specifically it was made because Officer Shaparsky and Officer Henderson had brought it to our attention, and it doesn't apply specifically or exclusively to them. It applies to everybody on this department. Our view is you can be promoted twice off of the same test. That's going to be our stance at this point in time. There's some promotions that are coming up, and we have to take care of some past performance ratings and things like that to get that all going, but these next promotions that are coming up, everybody is going to be considered for those.
Yeah, so that's basically it. In answer to your question there, Officer Corporal Henderson and Corporal Shaparsky, yes, you will be considered in the running for the sergeant's positions coming up.
At this time, I would like to call up Officer Wasilewski and Officer Silver. Let's come up and just stand right over here. Yeah. spirit of the cameras right there. Incredible time for us. We have 4 life-saving awards. And in the midst of all that we've been going through, the bravery that has been shown by this department is phenomenal. For Officer Washluski and Officer Sofer, on April 30th of 2020, Officer Sofer and Officer Cody Washluski were dispatched to the 200 block of Edward Street for a report of a shooting. Upon arrival, Ricky Kimball was found on the floor bleeding aggressively from a gunshot wound to his leg. In an effort to control the bleeding, Officer Sofer applied a tourniquet high upon his leg, while Officer Washluski kept the subject's leg raised. During this time, both officers continued to communicate to Kimball to prepare him for any pain resulting from the tourniquet. Kimball was transported to Franciscan Health by EMS, where he was stabilized by emergency staff. During a victim-followed interview, ER nurse Tina Thomas advised Detective Corporal Baker that the officers who administered the tourniquet saved Kimball's life. That's big time. The tourniquet applied to Kimball was done in a quick fashion and effectiveness that stopped him from bleeding out. Officer Washluski, your actions personify the spirit and cooperation of all law enforcement officers. Officer Sofer, your actions personify the spirit of cooperation of all law enforcement officers are in keeping with the highest standards of the Michigan City Police Department. For your actions, I am extremely honored to present you both this life-saving award. Congratulations. Congratulations, both of you. Thank you very much. Let's give it another hand. Awesome. At this time, I would like to call up Officer Victor Sanchez. On June 15th of 2020, officers were dispatched to the area of Maple Street and East 10th Street in reference to a female subject who had been stabbed. Upon arrival, Officer Sanchez located the victim with a laceration on her throat. As the scene became chaotic with EMS and fire arriving and officers taking the suspect into custody, Officer Sanchez was able to calm the victim as he continued to apply direct pressure to her wound. He continued his efforts until relieved by EMS. Outstanding. Personnel, upon victim follow-up with Franciscan Health, the nurses stated that it was Officer Sanchez's actions at the scene that saved the victim's life. Officer Sanchez, your actions personify the spirit of cooperation of all law enforcement officers and are in keeping with the highest standards of the Michigan City Police Department. For your actions, I am extremely honored to present you with this life-saving award. This time I'd like to call off Officer Aaron Bass. Officers Washluski and Officer Sofer, I forgot to give you your pins. Congratulations again. Thank you very much. Very much. Hi, sir. How are you? Good. Very good. Officer Aaron Bass, on May 16th of 2020, officers were dispatched to the 1400 block of Chickadee Drive at the Canterbury apartment complex in reference to a male subject who was working on his vehicle and suffered a heart attack. Officer Aaron Bass was first to arrive on scene prior to EMS, fire, or additional MCP personnel. He located the victim, who was lying on the ground next to a vehicle. Without hesitation, Officer Bass initiated CPR. He continued to perform several rounds of CPR while fire and EMS personnel set up a defibrillator. Upon follow-up with the hospital on Nye's condition, charge nurse Jennifer Sutton said that early CPR helped to save the victim's life. Officer Bass, your actions personify the spirit of cooperation of all law enforcement officers are in keeping with the highest standards of the Michigan City Police Department. For your actions, I am extremely honored to present you with this life-saving award. Congratulations.
Anything else you'd like to say, Chief?
I'm just very proud of the officers. I think in the time period where there's been a spotlight on the negativism of law enforcement, that our officers continue to be public servants and they continue to work at the highest standards. And we're just very, very proud of this department.
Any reports from the assistant chiefs?
Neither one of them are here today.
Okay. Division of Professional Standards? Commissioner Collins, do you have anything to say, Bruce?
Yeah, I just want to go along with what the chief said and congratulate these 4 young officers. They're young to us, aren't they, Scott? Young officers for their actions. Because sometimes, it's taken for granted what the officers on the street or anywhere in the department do. The public doesn't see it, your family doesn't see it, but the citizens who you protect and serve and your fellow workers see what you've done. And I encourage all supervisors in your administration, whenever something like this occurs, give these guys and gals, well, they probably don't like that term, men and women, a pat on the back, because you don't make a lot of money. Whenever you do make a little mistake, you're kicked around like a bag on the street or something like that. But when you do something good, save somebody's life, you've affected not only the person you saved, but their family. You brought credit to yourself and your family, credit to this department. And that's something you should take pride in, because they point it out when you're wrong, and they darn sure better point it out when you're doing something great. And hey, when you save somebody's life, that's pretty special. And congratulations to each of you, and I hope your families are aware of what you've done, because they should be very proud of what you've accomplished. That's quite an achievement. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
For me, again, to reiterate what Bruce said, I'm proud of all you guys. I know exactly what it takes and what you guys went through. Don't put those in a drawer or slide them underneath your bed or stick them in a tub somewhere down in your basement. Hang them on your wall at home. Be proud of them. Show them off to your family and friends. Something you need to be proud of.
Yes.
And along with that, I've been away from this place for 5 years, 6 years, whatever it's been now, and it's a pleasure for me to be back here and to work with some of these guys and to be part of this again. And I know I speak for Bruce as well. We're going to do our best we can to help out with any of your needs, to make the right decisions for you guys, to make this department better, and with that, make this community a little bit better. I'm proud to be here, but Chuck, do you have any comments?
Nothing for the record, no.
Mr. Simmons, I'm sorry, there's no FOP representatives here, correct?
Yeah, Jim, school.
Oh, Jim, do you have anything to say?
No, sir.
Okay, sorry. And then, Mr. Simmons, do you have anything to say?
Yes, I would also like to congratulate the recipients of the life-saving award. There's nothing more gratifying than saving a life. Again, congratulations. Also, I checked with the clerk's office before coming here today. There are no police commissioners applicants at this time. So, if you know of someone who's interested, get the word out. So,
And who would they contact you specifically?
well,
Or would they show up in the next city council meeting?
well, there's a form that you fill out.
Okay.
Contact the clerk's office to get the form, fill out the form, and then turn it back into the clerk's office. And then they would present it to the council meeting.
Okay.
In the form, basically, is asking for your qualifications, background, synopsis.
Gee, could you give us some background as to what happened with Lester, just as a public record?
Yeah, there was only one applicant, and that was Lester Novell, for the position. We nominated him. Personally, I nominated him, and the council approved it. Everyone voted and approved it. Later, to find out through our attorney that only 2 retired police officers can be appointed to the police commission. So, with Mr. Norvell being the last nominee, his voted. And I did contact and advise him of that. He was okay with it.
Okay, thank you.
Any comments from anybody in the public, including the officers that are present? Okay, nothing else. The next scheduled commissioner meeting will be Wednesday, October 14th at 11 a.m. here in this meeting. And with that said, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pass carried.